is Mallory, and right now this is my reflection for the 2012 soccer season preseason. So for high school Tate's Creek soccer. We started preseason around June, and we started with kick-arounds, which are just practices occasionally that are held by the captains of the team. And then we go into various activities, mainly occurring at Tate's Creek High School, the field, but we also do some team camps as well. Going into this, I didn't really know what to expect because this is my first high school season in America as I moved back from Switzerland that summer. And going into it, I hope to learn some new skills for soccer and to also create a bond between me and my new teammates. I wanted to become a real team and have real friends and new coaches from this team. I was pretty successful in this during preseason because, I picked up a lot of new skills and I learned how to work with some of the girls, and I became kind of close to a lot of my teammates during preseason. We went on camps together and I got to know a lot of them and got to become friends with them. During preseason we had a lot of difficulties. There were a lot of injuries and a lot of disputes, at team bonding camp with a bunch of girls together. We all kind of got into a bit of arguments, and there were some arguments on the field where people were being competitive. We overcome them by just being strong as a team and knowing that in the end it's all equal. No one's really mad at each other. We all still are a team, having the same goals together. During this experience, preseason, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot of what I can and can't do on the field, what I need to improve on. I also learned a lot about myself personally and how to bond with other girls. And through this, I developed a lot of new skills and values for teammates. Coaches who are there for you and want to help you every single day. I had a lot of help from my teammates during preseason to encourage me to keep going, keep pushing on. I had a lot of help from my coaches who were always so motivating and helping with learning new skills and learning how to work together on the soccer field. This activity, benefited myself obviously because I gained new skills and I was getting in shape, but it also benefited, the community in our Tate's Creek High School. One of our main goals for our preseason was to go into it and to become better so that we can make our community in high school have something to be proud of in the girls soccer program. If I were doing this activity again, there's not much I would change because I thought I did a good job of achieving my goals in this preseason with the help of my teammates and my coaches. So now, since this is CAS, I'll go into the learner outcomes that I thought I achieved during this experience. And I think the most important learner outcome that I achieved during the preseason was working collaboratively with others, because obviously being on a soccer team, you're working with a bunch of other girls to achieve goals and win games and become better as a team. The team is 11 on a field, but it consists of probably 40 girls, including both JV and varsity. So I had to work together not only to become better, but become a better team and become a better friend. And I also increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. During preseason, I realized some of my weaknesses on the soccer field and what I needed to improve on. And I also developed new skills, obviously, in the area of soccer and creating bonds with your teammates. And that's it. This is my class reflection for my 2012 high school Tate's Creek season for mid-season. So mid-season is basically from the beginning of our games up until postseason. It's basically the main part of the Tate's Creek High School soccer season. And what we do is we have practices every day after school. except on game days when we have a game at around 7 or 8 at night, and we compete with people around Lexington and in Kentucky. During this, I hope to learn new skills and become a better soccer player, and I think I achieved this. One of the main difficulties I had during this time was that I got injured and I wasn't able to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. I thought I would be out the whole season. I could still train and I could do therapy with my team, but I could not participate in a lot of the games that were played. This was very difficult on me because as a competitor, I wanted to be out on the field, I wanted to help my team, but I kind of learned a lot about myself through this experience because I got to help others and coach others and encourage others and be a teammate rather than being just a soccer player. And I had a lot of hope and encouragement from my teammates to come back from my injury, and a lot of encouragement from the trainers and the doctors and my coaches. Our season, we had some good games. We didn't lose any games. We had a couple ties during this season that were a little heartbreaking because obviously we did not win. But we had to learn a lot of encouragements from our teams and from our community and our school to get back through. And like we said, one of the goals coming into this was to make our high school proud, and I think we achieved this goal. So that therefore benefited the community in our school. And I don't think I would change anything other than getting hurt, but I think I persevered. And that kind of takes me to my learner outcomes. The main learner outcome I achieved during this season was showing perseverance and commitment, because even though I could not compete in all of the games and some of the stuff during training, I still was committed to going and doing other stuff and still training with the team. And that showed perseverance. And I also still had to work collaboratively with others and encourage others and kind of coach others while I was off the field and they were playing. So that is it. And yeah. My CAS reflection for the 2012 Takes Your High School postseason. Alright, so coming into postseason, I just got off an injury and I was back to playing again. Basically, postseason it's like the ending where you build up and you have your district tournament, your region tournament, and eventually your state tournament if you make it to those. Going in, what I hoped to learn was how to deal with pressure during games, because during postseason, every game counts, and if you lose a game, with the exception of the district semifinals, you're out of the complete and you're done. Your season's over. So I would say I was pretty successful in learning how to deal with under pressure, considering we didn't really lose the game after our first one. Some of the difficulties I encountered were just dealing with the pressure and all the emotions of every single game, knowing that it could be your last game with the team and your last game with some of the seniors on the team. That was very hard to overcome all the pressure and emotions running high. During this experience, I learned a lot about myself and my teammates and how we all were really close and just still encouraging each other to keep going and making the season last longer. I developed a lot of attitudes and abilities during this. I became more committed to eating right, drinking right, and everything I did for the postseason. I had a lot of help from my coaches and my teammates in the soccer ability, but also from fans and from my family and everyone who supported me and encouraging me. That helped a lot in overcoming some pressure and some emotions. This activity benefited a lot of people. It's been told our Takes Your High School soccer team won state in 2012 this season, and this benefited our community and our schools. The first soccer state championship our school had ever achieved with girls. So it gave our school and our team and our community something to be proud of and something to hang up on walls, show medals. If I had to do this activity again, there's one thing I would change. Two things I would change. The first thing is our first game in districts, we lost. It's semifinals. We lost, or not our first game, our finals in districts. We lost to Lexington Catholic in a heartbreaker. And even though we still got to move on, I still would have liked to erase the one loss we had on our season. The other thing I would have changed, obviously, is making my PK and state championship game. But I think that everything else went great. So going on to the learner outcomes, there are a lot of learner outcomes during the postseason. Over the whole postseason, I had to show perseverance and commitment because I was committed to playing soccer almost every other day and going to practice and training and making myself prepared for the games. I had to work collaboratively with others, my teammates, my people who were around in the community. I had to become aware of my personal strengths and weaknesses and take advantage of my strengths and focus on working on my weaknesses. And I also had to develop some new skills during the time with my soccer abilities and develop new skills of learning how to deal with intense pressure and emotions. So that is it. This is my CAS reflections for In the Word posters in the fall of 2012. So, In the Word is a club at my school, Tates Creek High School, and it's basically a club where we want to increase the awareness of the negative effects of the word retardation used in a negative connotation. So, in this, we're making posters to kind of spread the word about our club and spread the word about how hurtful that word can be. So going into it, I kind of wanted to learn new artistic skills in making a poster and learn how to make things more creative and stand out more so that you can grab someone's attention. And I was pretty successful in learning this and in improving on my artistic skills. Some of the difficulties I encountered during this experience were coming up with new ideas and new ways and new techniques of grabbing someone's attentions. We had to make a lot of posters, and each one we wanted to make look a little bit different, but at the same time be just as effective as the others. And so during this experience, I learned that I can do something artistic and creative, even though I don't normally produce art. I found that I actually enjoyed making art and making posters and being creative and making them look nice and making them grab someone's attention. So that was the kind of the abilities that I learned were mainly in the artistic form, but also I had like a new attitude and perspective towards people who produce art and a new value that I place on them, a higher value. And I had a lot of help from the people who were there. We had two teacher supervisors, Ms. Oliva and Ms. Tucker, who were there helping us, guiding us to come up with ideas that would help grab people's attention, help spread the word. But I also had help from some of my classmates who are also in the club, who helped make the posters and who helped making me keep creating ideas and helping me with my artistic abilities and making different forms of art. So this activity benefited our club obviously, and all the people that our club stands for, the people especially in the mentally challenged classes. We wanted to help put them more as a present in the school and make them more involved in the school. So it was very beneficial to that cause. And if I were to do this again, I don't think I would change anything because I think it was overall pretty beneficial, and I think our posters spread our message, and it made people more aware of what we were trying to make happen in the school. And some of the learner outcomes that that apply to this are increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. I increased awareness of like things that I can do in art, and I increased my awareness that I actually liked art, and so that was a positive thing. But I also kind of became aware of some of the things that I'm not so good at, and that if I wanted to pursue art, that I could actually work on and try harder to get better at. And I also had to work collaboratively with others to come up with ideas to put on the posters and to come up with different ways to grab people's attention. And I also developed new skills in the form of art, just new techniques that I could use and new different things that I could apply to art. So, let's see. This is my CAS reflection for BPE Athletic Awareness Kids Day. So this was an event before school at BPE Elementary School in Lexington, Kentucky. Basically, we were promoting physical fitness and physical exercise for kids who are in elementary school from kindergarten to 5th grade. We stood outside in the cold and we had to interact with the kids and tell them about what sports we played and how they benefited us, and just to promote physical exercise for the kids. So going into this, I was very interesting, and I wanted to see how many kids played different sports at BPE, if there's a variety of different sports, if most kids did play sports. And I was successful in learning this. Most of the kids wore a jersey of the sports that they played, or they wore a t-shirt saying what sport they played. And I found out that there are a lot of varieties of sports that are played at BPE. There's cheerleading, soccer, basketball, all the way to even hockey. And so that was very interesting to see. Some of the difficulties I encountered were, putting myself out there and being loud to interact with the kids, trying to interact with the kids. I have done coaching and interacted with kids in the past, but most of the kids I had interacted with, I had known on a regular basis from coaching them over a period of time, and this was just a short period of time to interact with these kids, so I had to overcome my fear of putting myself out there. And so I did that, and in this experience I learned a lot about myself and how much fun it is to interact with kids and talk to kids and to promote physical exercise. I also learned about a lot of the kids in elementary school do love to do physical exercise, and they love to play a lot of sports. Some of the attitudes that go along with this sports day were, just to have a positive mentality the whole time you're doing it. And I thought that was everyone who was working the day, which included some of the high school athletes at Tates Creek High School, and also some of the teachers and principals and administration leaders at BPE. They all had to have a positive perspective and mentality towards promoting the sports and the physical exercises. So, as I said, I had help from all my different teammates and all the different classmates from Tates Creek High School and all the administrators who put the event together. This activity, it benefited all the little kids in the BPE and elementary school. I hope that it helped them see that sports is a good route to take, especially when you get older, because it gives you time to get your personal and athletic and physical activity in, and at the same time to gain friends and a new atmosphere that's beneficial to them in the long run. If I were to change one thing, I think I would make this activity even longer and maybe more elaborate, so that we could really get to have more time to spend with the kids, so that we could further promote physical exercise, which is a very big importance in especially for kids in the United States. So some of the learner outcomes that go along with this experience were working collaboratively with others. I had to work with not only the people who were over the event and all the people who were helping with it, but I also had to work with the kids to try to get them, excited about talking about the sports that they played, and excited about, just excited in general about physical exercise. And I also had to develop new skills in being excited and being loud in in an atmosphere with a bunch of people, and so that was a new thing for me, and I think it was very beneficial for myself. So yeah. Alright, this is my CAS reflection for senior night preparations in 2012 as a junior. For senior night preparation, we had to decorate hoops and decorate posters for the seniors for their senior night. We also had to decorate the locker room and their houses and decorate their cars in preparation for their senior night. During this experience, I hope to gain new skills in art and learn how to test my creative abilities. And I think I was pretty successful in this because I had a lot of time and a lot of things to do and where I could experiment with my artistic abilities. I had a lot of difficulties that I had to overcome during this preparation because there are some things that artistically I couldn't do or I didn't have any ideas to do, or others didn't have ideas to do. So we had to work collaboratively as a group of people to come up with ideas and to put our talents together to create a good senior night for the seniors. Doing this, I learned a lot of things about myself, like my strengths in art and what I can and can't do and what I need to improve on while organizing things and preparing for their senior night. Some of the abilities that I gained through this experience were new creative ideas and new artistic abilities. I also now have a higher value for artists because I understand how difficult their work is, and I had a lot of help during this experience with being an artist or doing creative things. I had a lot of help from the parents that were helping out and from all the people who are also helping at the senior nights, the other people on my team. This activity benefited the seniors on our team because we wanted them to have a good last senior night, a good last game at home, and enjoy their senior night because we only have it once. If I were to change something, I probably wouldn't change anything because I think overall the seniors had a good senior night and it was very beneficial for them. In learner outcomes, I increased awareness of personal strengths and areas of growth as I learned my creative and artistic abilities and areas for growth in those fields. I also worked collaboratively with others to prepare all the stuff and this creative thing. I showed perseverance and commitment because a lot of this took a long time and there was a lot of preparation and everything we had to do. So I had to be very committed to this, and I also developed new skills in art and creative ideas. This is my CAS reflection for scrapbooking in preparation for the banquet in 2012 for our Senior High School soccer season. What I did during this was I created a scrapbook for one of the soccer, and the reason for doing this is so that the seniors on our team have a memory to hang on to and have something to bring back those memories of our 2012 season. What I hope to learn some new artistic skills and some new scrapbooking skills in general because I had not really done this before, and I think I was pretty successful because I think the scrapbook actually turned out really nice and the senior liked it. There are a lot of difficulties to be encountered during this experience because there were a bunch of girls in one room making different scrapbooks, and we had to share supplies and work together to come up with a few ideas even though we were individually working on a scrapbook. So in this experience I learned a lot about my artistic abilities, my creative abilities, and how I could create something for another person that would be lasting and would look nice. I obviously gained new abilities in scrapbooking and art, but I also had more value for people who do the hobby of scrapbooking because because I realized how difficult it can be. And I had some help from some of my fellow teammates who were around working on others. They helped me with some ideas and with creating the scrapbook. And the activity was beneficial, especially for the one senior who I made the scrapbook for, because the scrapbook was a memoir she could have in the season and something she could take with her to remember everyone and everything we accomplished during that season. And if I had to do this again, I don't think I would change anything because it was overall beneficial to me and to the player who was using the scrapbook. So the learner outcomes that applied during this experience was increase awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. I became aware of the things that I could do in scrapbooking and the things that I wasn't very good at. I also had to work collaboratively with others to come up with ideas, but also to share supplies while making the scrapbooks. And I also developed new skills because I had never done this before as an activity. It was a creative activity that I had to gain new skills in. So yeah. This is my class reflection for Dance Gold 2013 and 2014. So Dance Gold is basically a program where you come for 10 hours and you dance every hour on the hour, and you basically stand and play games and you fundraise for the event, and all the proceeds for the event go to St. Jude's Hospital for cancer research and for the children in the hospital. Going into this, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really understand what it was directly for, but I knew it was for a good cause. So I kind of wanted to learn more about what this research was going towards and what my donations and my fundraising was for. And I was successful in learning those. They told us like everything that this benefited, like the cancer research and the kids in the hospital who don't have all the abilities that we have every day. During this experience, I had a lot of difficulties that I encountered. You're standing for 10 hours without sitting, so about the 5th hour your legs are really tired and you're only halfway through and you want to sit down, but you just think about all the kids who don't have what you have and all the kids who aren't as blessed as you, and you can overcome what you're doing because you're doing it for the kids, and that's the motto of the program, Dance Gold, for the kids. So in this experience, I kind of learned a lot about myself and how I can push past things and push past the pain and, be more thankful for the things I have. I gained a new attitude and new perspective and value for life because overall, I realized, there are other people in the world who don't have everything I have and who aren't as lucky, and there are kids in the hospital who don't get to spend their days playing outside, and their parents who have children in the hospital and they spend their days worrying about their child. And it just overall had a big importance and impact on me. And I did have some help from other people in fundraising, and I fundraised $50 for the charity for the organization. And this activity benefited obviously the St. Jude Hospital research and all the kids who were in the hospital. If I were to change one thing about this program, the only thing I would change would be to try to fundraise more, to give more back to the charity, and to help more people and have a bigger impact on it. So for learner outcomes, I had to show perseverance and commitment. 10 hours is a long time to be standing and to not have a break, so I had to push through and show perseverance, and I had to be committed to what I was doing and what the cause was for. Also, the biggest learner outcome for this Dance Gold program is global importance. This has a huge global importance because cancer research is a major a major need in the U.S. We have millions die of cancer every year, and a lot of them are children. So it's very important that we get the fundraising to have research and to help these children in need. So yeah. This is my CAS reflection for Operation Athlete fitness training. I did fitness training with a personal trainer named Ted Butler, who works with top athletes around Kentucky. And I did this from 2012 through 2014. Ted Butler's training consists of speed training, quickness, agility, and strength exercises, and awesome stamina. So going through this, what I wanted to learn was my limits and what I can do and how good I can become of an athlete. I also wanted, to gain personally strength and stamina and quickness and speed. And I think I was pretty successful during these activities because I did learn what my strengths are in quickness and then my weaknesses in strength. And I also was successful in becoming a better and more physical and stronger appearance and achieving my goals. During this program, there are many difficulties every single time because it's an intense training that lasts an hour each training session. It's very difficult to get through each training session without wanting to give up. There are always moments during the training session where you want to lay down and go to sleep, but you have to push through and you have to persevere through that, and you have to overcome that and think about how good do I want to become and how much I want to get through this training session. And that's how I overcome every time, every training session. When I go through a training session, I learn a lot about myself and what I can do when I set my mind to it and how much I can achieve. And during these training sessions, I gain a new attitude, new perspective. I have a perspective for every professional athlete who goes through trainings like this every single day. And I also have a new attitude towards myself and motivating myself and encouraging myself. I'm obviously helped by, I do training sessions with other people, and I'm helped by the people who I do the training sessions with, my friends and my teammates. And I'm also helped by the main trainer, who always is so encouraging, and he gives you the exercises to do, and he tells you what specifically you need to work on and how to become a better athlete. This activity, it benefits the trainer and his business, and it benefits myself, and everyone who does it benefits from it to become a better, well-rounded athlete and to learn things that they can improve on. If I were to do this activity again, I probably wouldn't change anything because I've gained so much out of it. It's been very beneficial for me, not only for an athlete perspective, but from a personal perspective and being self-motivated. So the learner outcomes that are used in this training is increased awareness of personal strengths and area for growth. I realize what I need to work on, and I realize what I'm already good at, but I can still improve on, of course. And also working collaboratively with others. There are many people in the group, and we all have to work together and motivate each other to keep going because it's so easy to want to give up. I also have to show perseverance and commitment. It's a lot of commitment to do trainings like this, and it's a lot of hard work to want to come out there and do that stuff for a whole hour. So I see my own self-perseverance. And I also develop new skills, new strength, new stamina, quickness. I gain so much out of every single training session. So that's it. This is my CAS reflection for initiation, costume, ideas, and preparation. So during this activity, I created ideas for costumes for initiation for our soccer team, And initiation is basically when the new girls come on, or the new girls onto the team. We take them out. We dress them up and we give them different costumes, and they each have to act like a different person, and it kind of just is more like a team bonding exercise. And so as a senior, we had to create the ideas for the costumes and make them. So during this experience, I hope to advance my creative mind and make myself more creative. And I also wanted to advance my artistic abilities in making the costumes and picking some of the materials out. I think that's pretty successful because overall the costumes worked out really well. With collaborating with the other girls on my team, the other seniors, we came up with a lot of good ideas, and we got some compliments on the costumes. Some of the difficulties we encountered were working as a team to come up with ideas. It was kind of difficult because a lot of people had different ideas for different things, and some people disagreed with others on some costumes, and in the end we had to eventually overcome our differences and pick one costume for each girl. Some abilities that I gained through this experience was just becoming more creative and coming up with the ideas for the costumes, and then also more creative in making the costumes and picking out the materials that go to the costumes, hats and dresses and shirts and scarves and accessories. So and this gave me a bigger value for people who are in the fashion industry, because a lot of people take for granted some of the majors and the people who work for the fashion industry, but really they do have a difficult job in designing the things that we wear and picking out things that are in style. So I had a lot of help from people. Obviously, I had a lot of help from the teammates who helped me come up with the ideas, and also from the parents who supervised the activity to make sure everything was ethical and good. And yeah, so this activity benefited our team as a whole because it was team bonding, an activity that helps our team become more of a unit, and this helps us later in our season and just in general. And if I were to do this activity again, I probably wouldn't change anything, because overall it was very beneficial for me and for my team as a whole, and for the underclassmen to kind of get to know the seniors and us to joke around. And so learner outcomes, I had to collaborate with others, and that was one of my hardest parts in this, was not only coming up with my own ideas, but using other people's ideas and working off of that and giving up some of my own ideas to take other people's ideas. And also a development of new skills. I learned I took on new challenges and creative activities that normally I don't get into, like fashion and creating ideas for things. So yeah. This is my CAS reflection for Billy's Place during the summer of 2013. Billy's Place is an organization, basically just a charity in the middle part of Tennessee, where they work with foster children who are abandoned usually when they are young. And I did this activity during the summer of 2013, where I went and you would feed them homemade meals, and you would interact with the kids, play games with them, set up activities for them. Going into it, I kind of hoped to learn what the organization and the charity was all about. I knew the basics to it, but I didn't know exactly what they did. And I kind of also wanted to learn more about the children and what they do and how their lives are. And I was successful in learning this. I learned a lot about the backgrounds of the children who are at the organization. I learned what exactly they do and how they help. Some of the difficulties that were encountered during this experience were hearing some of the children's stories, because a lot of them are abandoned as they're as they're really small children. So it's a very sad atmosphere, but also a very positive atmosphere, because even though these kids were abandoned, they're also happy together, and they're very excited to be there and playing games and eating lots of food, and just there's a very positive atmosphere. And going into this experience, I learned a lot about myself, and not only how lucky I am and how thankful I have to be every day for what I have, but also just learning a lot about having a positive attitude no matter what. Even these kids, they have a huge positive attitude even when they have a normally sad background and sad history. But I also learned a lot about myself, and learning that I love to interact with little kids, and I love to set up games with them, and I love the excitement that little kids have all the time. And like I said, I had, since the experience, I have new values for life, and a new attitude towards everything that I have, and a new attitude towards taking a positive stance on what you're given and everything in general. There are a lot of people that helped, or a lot of people that volunteer for this place. Some of my family is over or in the administration of this charity, and so they helped me kind of get into a role where I could volunteer and I could help out a lot during the summer. And also I had a lot of help from all the volunteers who had previously been working there, and they kind of showed me like what to do, how to prepare things, how to interact with the kids, and so yeah. This activity obviously benefits the kids who are in the activities and who get to go here and are so excited about all the games, and just a fun day or a fun weekend, or even sometimes weeks that they get to spend and play games and have fun. And it also benefited myself personally just to have such a great experience with these kids and to put a new perspective onto life. And if I were to do this again, I really wouldn't change very much, because I think it's very beneficial. I think the only thing I would change would be maybe trying to volunteer even more and to be more active in the charity. And some of the learner outcomes that apply to this were increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. Like, I increased my awareness for a personal strength in interacting with children and being excited with them and playing games with them. And so, yeah, I just basically increased my awareness of that, and working collaboratively with others, not only the kids that were there, but also the other volunteers, to come up with ideas for the kids and organize some games together. And I had to show perseverance and commitment to go and volunteer and spend long periods with these kids and just playing games with them. And also development of new skills, which kind of goes along with my areas of awareness that I'm strong in. And I developed a new skill of just playing with the kids and being more active and involved with kids. And so also this charity kind of has a global importance in the way that kids from Middle Tennessee, foster kids from Middle Tennessee, it gives them a place to go and kind of get their mind off things and just have fun and have a positive atmosphere and an overall good time while they're there. Another learner outcome that goes along with this experience is undergoing new challenges or undertaking new challenges, because I had never worked with kids who had been in the same situation as these kids, and I never actually volunteered for a place with kids and spent as much time as I did at this place. So that was a new thing for me, and it was exciting. Also, another learner outcome that applies to this is planning and initiating activities. I had to plan some of the things that we're doing, some of the games that we're playing, and I had to start things and put myself out there. So yeah. This is my CAS reflection for making crafts for sorority littles in the summer of 2013. So for this activity, I basically created 5 different canvases for sorority littles, or new members of a sorority. These canvases were basically welcoming them into the sorority, and just posters that they could hang up on their wall and be proud of to be in that sorority. So going into this, I hope to learn new tricks and become a better artist, and also I hope to learn what I could do as an artist and how I can make these things and just learn about myself. And I think I was pretty successful in that because I learned a lot of different things by looking on the internet and coming up with creative ideas. I learned that I could actually do art and that I really enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time doing this, not only doing it just for the sorority bigs who were making it for the littles, but also just for fun because it actually became something that I would do for a hobby if I had more time. So some of the difficulties I encountered were, just making art in general and trying not to mess up because I was using paintbrushes and paint, so I couldn't really mess up that often. And when I did, it was kind of difficult to, change it, but also use that mess up and error and incorporate it into the canvas that I was painting. So I learned a lot about myself and what I can do as an artist, and like I said, my actual admiration for art and how I like it, and I would do it for a hobby. Some of the abilities I learned were just basically new techniques that I could use and new things that I could create. I also developed a new value for just art in general and canvases and things like that. I really found that they're things that are really fun to do, and they're really neat to have in your life. So this activity, it benefited the people that were receiving the art and the canvases, the sorority littles, the new members into the sorority. It gave them something to be proud of and hang up in their walls, and to know that they were fully accepted by the sorority. And if I were to do this again, I really wouldn't change anything because I think overall it's very beneficial for the people who receive them, and also beneficial for me myself to explore different things and explore art and find out that I actually do enjoy making art. So some of the learner outcomes that are involved with this are increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. Obviously in art there are lots of things that there are things that I was good at, but then there are also a lot of things that I could grow upon. If I were to take art in a more serious form and do it more often, I would have to work on that and try to increase my strengths in those areas. So I also had to show perseverance and commitment because it took a lot of time making these canvases, and in the end I wasn't going to receive them or get to keep them, so I had to show perseverance and commitment to making them for others. And I also developed new skills in the form of making art and just painting in general, because I hadn't really done that in previous activities. So yeah, that is it. This is my CAS reflection for the 2013 preseason Tate Street High School season. So preseason again, 2013 was at Tate Street High School and mainly in a team bonding camp. We were trying to prepare for our mid-grade season and our high school season for soccer. During the season, I was the captain, and I knew coming into it that I would take on a leadership role to the team. And so I hope to learn how to become a better leader and how to help others and how to encourage the underclassmen on the team. And I think I was pretty successful in gaining the underclassmen's trust and trying to encourage them. I learned a lot about myself during preseason. I learned how to improve on becoming a leader and what I needed to do during the regular season and during postseason to help my team in the best way possible. I gained a lot of values. I now value my coaches and leaders and captains on other teams now more, because I know now that it's a hard role and it's a lot of responsibility, so I have more value for them. And a lot of people helped me along this experience. During preseason, we're just trying to prepare for our regular season. So our coaches were helping us, our coaches were helping me on telling me how to improve soccer-wise and how to improve as a leader. Also, some of the difficulties we encountered were against injuries, and we also had some disputes with people within the team. As a leader, I was trying to resolve those disputes and keep the team shaped well. Another difficulty we encountered was that since winning state in 2012 season, we didn't want to come into the season thinking that we were going to do it again or that we were able to do it again, because winning state is a once in a lifetime thing and it's very difficult to repeat it. So this preseason benefited our whole team, I think, and overall the Takes Free Soccer program benefits our community and our school, because we like to give our school something to go to the games for and a reason to be proud and have a program to be proud of. If I were to do this again, I really wouldn't change anything, because I think it was overall a good experience. Some of the learner outcomes that I used during the preseason for high school was increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. I improved and became aware that I can be a leader and I can step up and have a leadership role in the team. I had to work collaboratively with others, and encouraging the underclassmen and preparing men to play against bigger and even better competition. And I also had to show perseverance and commitment, because preseason is a lot of commitment during summer. And also I developed new skills, because always in a sport, and especially in soccer, you are always trying to develop new skills and become a better player. So, thank you. This is my CAS reflection for the 2013 mid-season. So during mid-season, this is the time of all our games, and during the regular season, it starts with the first game and ends with the last right before postseason. Going into mid-season, what I really hoped to learn was I really wanted to gain a lot of new skills and become a better player. I wanted to do this because for future, for college, I wanted to become better so that I have a better chance of becoming a higher level player. I also wanted to become a better leader on and off the field. And I think that I was pretty successful in achieving these goals. I gained a lot of new skills during this season. I became a better shooter and I became a better leader. During the season, we had a lot of difficulties as a team. We had a couple injuries and one major injury from a team captain and a leader on the team. Having one of the leaders out, I think, kind of affected some of the attitudes from some of the players, and this is a big difficulty that we had to overcome as a team. But eventually, we did overcome this, and we found new leadership, and we saw leadership still through that other player, and we learned how to get through things as a team. We also didn't have as great of a record as last season, so it was hard to overcome some of the losses and some of the ties that we had during this. During this experience, I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I could become a better leader, and that I could lead people not only on the field but while off the field. Not just in soccer, but in anything. I can help people underclassmen with some of the difficulties they were going through just in general. During this, I learned I had a lot of value for my teammates, and people having to overcome stuff during this season. We all had difficulties during our mid-season, and I think I gained a lot of value for every one of my teammates. There was a lot of help from my teammates and from my coaches and from the community and the school. Again, our friends are always there and always supporting us, and so they helped me a lot to get through some of the rough patches that we had during our mid-season. This activity, even though we had a few losses, we still had a bunch of good grades and good wins at home especially, and this kind of benefited our school, gave our school a sense of pride and something to do, and it kind of gave us a connection to other people around in the school. And if I would change anything, I really wouldn't change anything about the season. I maybe would take back a couple losses and make them wins, but other than that, I don't think I would generally change anything. So during this, we had a lot of learner outcomes. The first learner outcome was increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. So I learned that I could become a better leader, but I also learned that there were some things in leadership that I needed to grow in, become a better person, and also become a better soccer player, some of my weaknesses on the field. How to work collaboratively with others, to discuss some disputes and some distractions on the team. And I also had to show perseverance and commitment because soccer is a lot of commitment, especially during season. You're committing every day after school to training or games, and even sometimes your weekends. So it's a lot of commitment. And through the whole experience, I developed new skills, which is another learning outcome that I was major because I was developing new skills to become a better person and a better player for the future. And that's it. This is my CAS reflection for the 2013 K2 High School Soccer postseason. So postseason is all about getting to finals and big games and difficulties and overcoming pressure and high emotions. So going in postseason, what I hope to learn and kind of accomplish, I hope to learn more about myself as a leader and how to deal with pressure and how to help my team deal with pressure. Because as a leader, one of your roles is to encourage your team and the underclassmen and to make people feel like there's as much pressure on themselves. And I hope to obviously accomplish big things in the postseason. I think I was pretty successful in doing these things. Our team went pretty far, and we overcame a lot of things that happened in postseason, like injuries and big games. So some of the difficulties we encountered I encountered during postseason was obviously some disputes on the soccer team still going on. This season was different than the 2012 season. We had a lot more disputes and arguments inside the team, and as a leader, I wanted to overcome these disputes and help the team just focus more on the game rather than little things that are occurring inside our team. I learned a lot about myself during this experience, how I could be a leader and how I could step up and how I could help our team deal and help other people deal with the pressure, and not only myself, the pressure on myself. And this gives a lot of value to me for I had to change my attitude about how to approach every game and how to approach other people on my team. I had to think more about other people rather than what I was feeling, and that was contrasting to the 2012 season. We had a lot of help. I had a lot of help personally from my coaches and my family and my friends and my teammates. During postseason, emotions run high, and it's hard to overcome some of these emotions, so I had a lot of support to help me with that. This activity, benefited other people. Even though we did not win state, we made it to the semifinals of states, and we were state semifinalists. So that's a big accomplishment still. So being a state champion in 2012 and the semifinalists to state in 2013, we still were leading the program into a better place and making it a good place or good program for our community, saying to benefit everyone in their school and the people on our team. If I could change one thing, it would obviously be to end up winning rather than losing in the semifinals. But really overall, I wouldn't change anything because I'm proud of our team and I'm proud of the things that I had overcome and our team had overcome during the season. As far as learning outcomes goes, I had increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. This occurs at any time you play a sport. You always find new things and new areas of growth for yourself. I always find things that I'm getting better at. I had to work collaboratively with others on and off the field to settle disputes, but also play soccer together. I had to show perseverance and commitment because during the postseason there's a lot of commitment involved into it. And obviously I developed some new skills along the way in increasing and improving my soccer abilities. Let's see. This is my CAS reflection for Ultimate Frisbee 2013. So 2013 in the fall season, I played Ultimate Frisbee for intramurals at Tates Creek High School During this experience, I hope to learn a new sport and experience new rules and a new game that was different from all the other regular sports and activities I do on a regular basis. And I was pretty successful in this by, learning how to play with others and learning the sport and learning the rules and how to play it. Some difficulties I encountered during the sport were, picking up all the rules without having a rule book because it is intramurals, and picking up how to do certain moves and how to throw the frisbee. I had never actually played ultimate frisbee before, so it was kind of difficult to learn how to do that. So I learned a lot about myself and how much fun I can have doing other activities that I don't do on a regular basis and reaching out. And by being on this ultimate frisbee team, I met people at my school who I normally don't see that often and normally don't associate with that often because they're not in my classes. So it was a good experience to reach out and meet new people and have a new and different experience in general. During this, I had a fun attitude about it. I think I just learned to have a sport that wasn't as competitive as my normal sports and activities that I do, but just an action-based activity where I could just have fun and not have all the competitive and serious mentalities that I have for normal sports. I had help from my friends who tried to teach me the game and who put me on the team and who helped me through it all. This activity benefits everyone who's a part of it because, like I said, you get to meet different people and you get to play and you get to have physical activity. That's a fun way of getting it. And if I were to change this activity, I don't think I would change anything because I think overall it was, very beneficial for me as a person. And the learning outcomes I received during this activity were increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. I realized some of the things that I could do with the frisbee and some of the things that I could not. And through the period of the time, I tried to grow in the areas of weakness during my frisbee abilities. I had to work collaboratively with others. Ultimate frisbee is a team sport, and so I had to work as a team and pass the frisbee and try to get touchdowns or points. And I showed perseverance and commitment through the activity because even though I wasn't that great and I didn't know the rules, I persevered and I became a better player and I had fun with it even though it wasn't as competitive. And I had commitment because I had to show up every Sunday to play this game. And I also developed new skills in a new sport that I had never played before. So. This is my CAS reflections for Brittany's Blankets in the fall of 2013. So Brittany's Blankets is an organization where they make and tie fleece blankets to donate to children's hospitals and clinics for children cancer patients. And going into this experience, I wanted to kind of learn what the organization Brittany's Blankets is about and how they help others and their importance and their role in cancer patients and helping them. I was successful in this. I learned that they do give blankets and they've donated over 1,000 blankets to children's hospitals and clinics. And so some of the difficulties I encountered were learning how to tie the blankets. At the beginning of the experience, we had to learn how to tie the blankets and how to make them, and that took quite a bit of time. But after we learned how to do them, it kind of went faster. In this experience, I learned a lot about myself and a lot about others and how thankful I am for what I have in comparison to some people who are out there battling cancer at the age of 4 or even younger. This kind of gave me a new attitude and perspective and value for life and everything that I have. And so during this exercise I had help from the lady who was over the organization and also the people who were there in the basement helping me tie the blankets and others who were just helping out with the organization. This activity benefits all the children patients in hospitals and clinics around Lexington. And if I were to change anything about this experience, I don't think I would, because I think it was overall very beneficial to me to give myself a new perspective and to make as many blankets as possible to send off to the children's hospitals and clinics. And so for learners' outcomes, I had to work collaboratively with others, because we all had to do it together, and we all had to tie blankets together and tie as many as possible. And I also developed new skills in tying the blankets and learning how to do that. And also, the biggest one is global importance. This has a big global importance because it's helping others and helping the children's patients in hospitals and clinics who are battling cancer and disease. So. This is my CAS reflection for Salvation Army Bell in the fall of 2013. So what I did was I stood outside of Walmart in Murray, Kentucky for 2 hours ringing the Salvation Army Bell. The Salvation Army Bell ringing is to promote people to donate money to the Salvation Army, and basically the Salvation Army uses this money for a bunch of different things. They use this money to send gifts and letters to troops across the world, and they also use the money to help feed some of the homeless people, especially during the winter, and to use for shelters for homeless people, especially during cold times and cold temperatures. So going into this, I kind of didn't know what to expect. I wanted to learn how many people in Murray, Kentucky, or in general, would donate to a cause like this right outside of a store. And I was successful in doing this. There were a surprising amount of people that actually donated money to this cause, and it was very surprising, but it was also a very positive effect, because I was very surprised and shocked at how many people were generous and willing to give others money, even when they may not have had that much money to give. So some of the difficulties I encountered were trying to promote people to give and donate money, and also to be out there in cold temperatures. I think it was below freezing that day, and to be out there for 2 hours just ringing a bell nonstop. But during this experience, I learned a lot about others and how generous a lot of people in America actually are, and I learned a lot about myself and how much I really care about causes, and how much I care about things like sending letters and gifts to the troops who can't come home for the holidays, and for the homeless shelters, and feeding the homeless especially during the winter. I gained a new attitude and new perspective for people who go out on a regular basis and ring the Salvation Army Bell. You don't really notice them, but they are all volunteers, and they take time out of their schedules, their busy schedules, to ring the Salvation Army Bell in order for other people, and that's very generous. This activity, it benefited, like I said, the good cause, because it was for the Salvation Army and all the things that they do around America and around the globe. If I were to change anything, I don't think I would change anything, because it was a good cause. I think the only thing I would try to change would be to do it more, and to do it more often, and to put more hours into doing it. As far as learner outcomes go, I think I showed perseverance and commitment, because even though I only did it once for 2 hours, it was cold, and it was a long time standing out there for 2 hours ringing a bell and trying to convince people to give money, to donate money right when they come out of a store. And I also think that this ringing the Salvation Army Bell has a big global importance, because the Salvation Army does play a huge role in America and in the world. And so I think that that by ringing the bell and getting people to donate money, plays a big role in helping people across the world and across the globe. And another learner outcome that goes along with ringing the Salvation Army Bell is considering the ethical implications with it. Being a volunteer and fundraising money outside of Walmart, there are a lot of ethical implications, because there's so much money in a bucket in front of you, and you have to trust the person that no one's going to take any out of it. So there are ethical implications in that. And also, you can't force people to donate money or give their money voluntarily. You have to just encourage people to do it and try to motivate them to. So there are implications, ethical implications in what to say, what not to say, and what to do and what not to do to motivate people to donate money to this good cause. So. This is my CAS reflection for Paper Plate Awards for 2013 Tate's Creek soccer season. So this is an example of a paper plate. We made these for our soccer team, for the underclassmen, the senior did. Basically, you make a paper plate for each girl on the team that's a memory for something that happened in the season, or during the soccer season. So during this experience, I was kind of nervous going in because I didn't have very many expectations, because I'm not usually a very artistic or creative person. But I kind of hope to learn new skills in art and new skills in being creative. And I think I was kind of successful, because in doing this activity, I had to come up with some creative ideas and had to think back and make them into funny puns or sayings so that we could use them in our paper plate awards. And I also had to use my artistic abilities in making the paper plates by using the different glue pins and glitter pins that you see used in the paper plate. And so some of the difficulties I encountered while making the paper plates and coming up with ideas was that I was collaborating with others. So we all had so many ideas coming in, and everyone wanted their ideas to be on the paper plates, but eventually we had to think together and work together to come up with what we thought would be the best paper plate for that person and what would be appropriate for the situation of a family banquet for the team. And I also personally overcame some difficulties with my artistic skills, being that I'm not very artistic and not very good at drawing things and making pictures with pens. So I had to overcome this and kind of step out of my safety zone to get to become a better artist and a better creative thinker. So I learned a lot about myself through this experience, because I learned that if I try really hard and that if I put my mind to something, even if it takes a really long time, I can have a good outcome out of it. Not being artistic and coming into this, the amount of time and effort that I put into this really paid off, because a lot of the people who got their paper plate awards were very happy and very, very excited to the results of them. So the abilities that I gained were mainly through becoming a more creative thinker and a more artistic person. And I kind of gained value also for people who have to creatively think on a regular basis. Like, I had to come up with slight puns and slight sayings that were creative, when writers and poets have to come up with even more creative stuff every day. So I gained a deeper value for people who are more creative, especially with the use of language. So I had help from my fellow teammates during this activity. Obviously, we all worked together to collaborate ideas and to make the paper plates. I especially had help from some of my more artistic teammates to help me gain more skills in that area. This activity was beneficial to everyone on my soccer team, because everyone got a paper plate and everyone was very excited, including the coaches. It also benefited myself in becoming more creative and more artistic. If I were to change something, I don't think I would change anything, because it was overall a beneficial experience, learning new skills and new areas of strength, and I think that was also beneficial to my team. And as far as the learner outcomes go, I had increased awareness of personal strengths and areas of growth, especially in the fields of art. I knew what I could and couldn't do, what I needed help with, and what I could do on my own. And I had to I had to work with others, and together we had to come up with ideas and create art in a form on a paper plate. And I had to show perseverance and commitment because even though I wasn't very good, I had to persevere through that, and I had to be committed to putting in the effort to make these things look nice and to make them, a good memoir for the girls on the soccer team. And I also had a development of new schools in my artistic and creative abilities. This is my CAS reflection for boxing in 2013, the spring. I did training at Title Boxing in the months of January and February for at Title Boxing, a boxing club in Lexington. Going into boxing, I wanted to learn new abilities and be able to box and learn how to defend myself. I think I was pretty successful while training. I learned new moves and a lot of new ways to defend myself. Some of the difficulties I encountered were just being able to do a new sport and all the difficulties that come with learning a new sport, like fitness-wise, learning when you get to take breaks in the sport and when you have to keep going and pushing through, and just overcoming them was just with time and commitment to overcome these difficulties. In this sport, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my strengths and weaknesses, and I gained a new appreciation for a different sport and how hard other sports can be rather than the normal sport I play, which is soccer. I had a lot of help from people with this sport. Without Stella Adams, I would have never even known to do boxing, and I had a lot of encouragement with some of the other people that I was doing boxing with and the trainers at the boxing facilities. This activity benefited all the people who do it by gaining exercise. It benefited Title Boxing and everyone who's involved with the training sessions. If I were to do this activity again, I probably wouldn't change anything because overall it's very beneficial for myself personally. And going along with the learner outcomes, I learned an increased awareness of personal strengths and areas for growth. I learned new skills and what I'm good at in the sport and what I can improve on. And I had to show perseverance and commitment because I had to show up at all the training sessions and be prepared to work hard. And also I developed new skills, which was a big thing for me in learning new skills and the way to defend myself. So.